This is Mattastrophic Music.
And welcome, listeners. You are tuned into the new podcast called Mattastrophic Music, a show where we talk about our favorite bands and records and have a good old time trying to turn you, the listener, as well as us, the hosts, onto some great new tunes and artists. So gather close around the fire and don't forget your hot tea or cocktail. It's time to get into it with your hosts, the Matts, Kelley, and Duffie.
All right, listeners. Today's band is the Smashing Pumpkins. They were formed in 1996, and the current members are Billy Corgan, James Iha, Jimmy Chamberlain, and Jeff Schroeder.
All right. And since we're focusing on the F-Stack, like we always do, want to do just a little shout out to the singles and the songs that did not make the F-Stack. I Am One, Tristessa, Siva, Cherub Rock, Today, Disarm, Rocket, Bullet with Butterfly Wings, 1979, Zero, Tonight, 33, The End is the Beginning is the End, Ava Adore, Perfect, The Everlasting Gaze, Stand Inside Your Love, Try, Tarantula, That's the Way My Love Is, The Celestials, Being Beige, One and All, Drum and Fife, Solara, Silvery Sometimes, Beguiled, and any others I may have missed. They have a ton of singles.
Oh my. That is an extensive list of music that they have put out for the public to consume. It is a treat to go digging past that already massive quantity of good music.
Yeah, you definitely have to dive deep into the Smashing Pumpkins to avoid that list of singles. It's ridiculous. That's awesome. Awesome for them.
It is awesome because the fact that we were able to each come up with two completely unique F-stacks, our first time doing that, two completely unique ones that we both were like hard to put together. Like, it's the fact that it was finding so much music in the process that it became a real struggle at the end just to get it down to 4 songs.
Yeah, I knew, right from the start, just looking at, the catalog of albums, I was, wow, this is going to be a tough one. I hadn't listened to Geesh, Siamese Dream at all. Like, it other than the hits that were on the radio when I was growing up, it's like discovering those for the first time. Really, like, after all these years, it was a complete mind trip back to that era of like, oh, I can't believe I missed out on these. Like, I really wish I would have had these as a kid, because I'm listening to them now and I'm like, these are amazing. Beyond what I expected when I went into it. I just thought, I went into this with like, okay, I already have an F-stack that I've been listening to for, 5-6 years of them. There was just like 3 tracks off of Oceana and then my 4th from Today. And I was like, that set was like constant. That's pretty much what I knew of Smashing Pumpkins the last decade I've been listening to them. So to go like venture out into their catalog, I'm pleasantly pleased with what we were able to come up with. Oh yeah. This last week has been awesome. Just so many songs, the records that I had never even heard of. I'd never even heard of Shiny and Oh So Bright.
Yeah, me neither. That was
Machina 2. I didn't even know there was a Machina 2.
Nope. And the great missing album Zeitgeist, which is apparently like doesn't exist on any of the major listening apps out there. That it's great. Like you said you heard that it was a rights issue. I thought I read that he just did not like the album and no longer wanted it out in the public. So you never really know with the enigma that is Billy Corgan, but that's crazy.
I think he doesn't want us to know.
I don't think he does either. I think it's just better, just like one of those things, like you can find it, and I owned a copy, which was crazy. It was like from 2007, and I was like, I must have just, at that time was like, I really want to check out the new Smashing Pumpkins, and then listening to it again now, it's like, wow, I don't see why he would be upset with this. It's a good album.
It's such a great record.
It is. It said it stands up there next to his catalog. I don't think he really has anything to be ashamed about it. I mean,
I think it's a classic sounding record, a classic Smashing Pumpkins record.
Yeah, it does sounds like classic Smashing Pumpkins.
Yep.
Okay, are we ready to get into the F stack?
Yeah, I think I am.
For the campers playing along at home, each week, we the Mats will pick a band or artist that we love, choosing 4 of our favorite songs to build an F-stack. A 4-track F-stack is deep cuts only, no radio-friendly massive hits allowed. We exchange our F-stacks with one another and consider the gems we have collected to build a combined Mattastrophic ultimate 4-track F-stack. It's a game of cooperation, compromise, shared passion, and musical discovery. We are here to have a wholesome good time, so, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and everyone under the beautiful rainbow of humanity, set your drama down and share in the good vibes at our campfire right here with Mattastrophic music. Let's get positively cosmic.
All right, so Kelly, you want me to go first?
I absolutely do. What is your first choice?
My first pick is my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song of all time. Right away, I knew that this was going to be my number one. This song has always just stood out in my mind. I have a lot of memories of this, and the track is Mayonnaise from Siamese Dream. Yeah, so
absolutely love this track, dude. I'm so glad you picked it.
Yeah, I think this track, from the little bit of research I did on the interwebs, this track means a lot to a lot of people. I read all sorts of stories, like in different threads, about how this track has affected other people and how so many people hold this track so close to their hearts. So, you know, it's a big one, like I said, for a lot of people. And for me, it's very special. This was my favorite track off of Siamese Dream, which was the first record that I heard from the Smashing Pumpkins when I was a teenager. One reason why this song is so special to me is because I actually learned how to play this on guitar when I was, when I was however old, like 17, maybe 16,
so
17,
I probably actually heard you play this at one point in time and do not remember it. That's completely possible. That's crazy.
Maybe.
I feel like I've heard, it's one of those songs where it's like, I feel like I've heard this song before, but never really listened to it. Sat down and actually listened to it. It's just that little intro riff is wonderful. Yeah. It just kind of hits you. So I could see
and that's the best part to play.
Yeah, I can imagine that. The one thing that I wanted to point out is that when I looked at it online, they called this shoegaze is for a genre for the song. Do you find that's...
Okay, I remember that.
I don't know what the history of shoegaze is, but has it been around longer than Smashing Pumpkins? Do you know? Are you familiar with the genre at all?
No. I have no idea.
No, me neither. I just wondering because it was just
I
like that
word until you said it.
Yeah, I know that I've heard it at some point in time talking to other music lovers, but it just it stood out to me because I was like, oh, okay, shoegaze. I'm like, I'm trying to put the word and the song together, and I guess it does kind of fit. It's weird. It's a weird word that apparently is a whole genre of music out there to be discovered.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, like you were talking about that intro, I learned how to play that on the guitar, but I learned both parts. Mm-hmm. So the lead part and the rhythm, I guess you could say the picking part. And yes. I taught picking part to a friend of mine who you may know, Sheldon.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I taught that to him. So he, we could play that whole intro together, and it just sounded freaking amazing.
Oh, that's
great. It was one of those things that every time we got together with the acoustic guitars, we wouldn't leave until we played that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, like every time, just because I mean,
some really, really powerful history tied in with the song.
Yeah, yeah, and it was just such a powerful experience, you know, being able to recreate that because it just sounds so good.
That is, it really stands out.
Yeah, to have that feeling. All right, so besides that, it's Shoegazey.
Shoegazey.
It's got that dreamy, you know, sort of feel. And it kicks in real hard with that classic Billy Corgan distortion. The song's got everything, I guess, that you could want in like a classic Smashing Pumpkins tune. Yeah, so that's why it's number one for me.
That's why it's number one for you. Excellent.
Yeah.
My number one was Knights of Malta from your aforementioned Shiny and Oh So Bright Volume 1 from 2018. This was not at all what I had expected to choose as my number one. It was definitely... I would say that this was easily my personal favorite discovery from going through the diving. Like, finding the song, going to listen to the songs, like this one just like jumped out at me immediately. Like I stopped what I was doing and was just like sucked into the song. The first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And I had like the biggest smile on my face because I'm like, "This is exactly like why I wanted to do this." Like just for these moments of like, I would not have come across this song had we did not started to play this game together. Like, it was like, this is great. It was just sitting there. I want to say that it was like the day after Christmas too. So it was like a perfect like little like aftertouch of it. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this has like everything. I feel like this, if it would have came out, you know, a decade or two earlier, would have been a massive hit for them because it has like all the qualities of like a really, like you said, like a classic I would say around the melancholy era, because it has a little more of the orchestral. It's actually produced by Rick Rubin, which I was shocked. Like when I went on there, like I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes all the sense in the world."
He does everything that's good.
Yeah, he does everything, but you can tell like what he brings to a song. Like I definitely feel he earns having his stamp on music. So it's like it brings that little extra something to it. Yeah, it completely caught me off guard. What did you think of it? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really happy that you picked this as your number one.
Yes.
You know, I think it's a great song. I love the intro, just how it starts with a whoa, 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 whoa. The lyrics, you know, it's uplifting, positive, with a touch of like the melancholy in there, you know.
Yeah, just a little hint. Yep.
Yeah, it's got that driving bass line. It's kind of funky. It put a picture in my mind like right away of, I don't know why, but it made me think of like an urban setting, like in a city, and like somebody on a journey. Like I was picturing somebody like traveling like on transit, like on a bus or something like that, you know, just like the lyrics, "We're gonna make this happen, I'm gonna fly forever, we're gonna ride that rainbow."
I love that line. It's so great. And the way he sells that too is like, you'd think that you just take it out of context, like "ride the rainbow." Oh, that's super cheesy. But when you're like in it, listening to it, it feels completely natural and earned in the song. Like it's like, yeah, I'm gonna ride that rainbow. Like he has just that little bit of I don't know, swagger or whatever behind it that he has, that he's like, he's confident in his vulnerability for sure at this point in his career. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's really like deliberate with his lyrics, and he's not afraid to, you know, say whatever he's feeling.
Yeah,
you know,
I like that a lot.
Right from the heart, and like you mentioned when we were speaking earlier, he's a true poet, I believe. So
in particular in this one, the poetry thing, it stuck out to me. I loved, you'll just rise on forever as my halo shines in you. When the doldrums age in platinum, I've a starship you can use.
Yeah, great pick, man.
All right, so what was your number 2 pick?
So my number 2 is also off of Siamese Dream, and it's Soma.
Excellent.
So is this a track that you were familiar with?
I was not. I had most of most of whatever was not played of Siamese Dream on the radio, I was completely a first listen for me, and it it was awesome. I gotta say, this was one of the picks that was very close to the outside. You got 4 tracks. It's really hard. You have to make the tough decisions. This one was just left off my stack. I'm so glad that I got to listen to this. Why did you pick this as number 2?
The ambience of it, the feel. I don't know if I should use that word shoegaze again because I don't quite know what it means.
I don't know. We're learning here, listeners. We're learning as we go. We're both discovering that we might want to check out some more shoegaze. So if you want to recommend any bands out there, terms. Yeah, you can. Any listeners out there, you want to recommend some shoegaze bands that, based off of these songs, that we might want to check out. Let us know.
Yeah, but it's that dreamy intro. That's how I will describe it, is dreamy. It's something else that was cool that I took note of is there's, and I don't know if you're gonna like this, or if you noticed this with your hearing.
Yeah.
But there's like a haunting ringing sound under the verse.
No.
It's just like a ringing.
Did not pick up on that. I use the word haunt in my description for the word, but I definitely didn't hear the ringing. So it still comes across as a haunting song. I wrote, my specific sentence was definitely haunts all around you. Like the song almost feels like it encloses on you, like it's like present. It's kind of creepy in a way. It has this real creepy aura to it. And maybe it's because I can't actually like physically hear that pitch anymore. That it's almost like a sixth sense. That's kind of nice. That gives it. I think
it was probably intentional.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Like he sat down and he's like, "We're gonna make this eerie and dreamy and like haunting and all that."
I did read that apparently Mike Mills from REM does the piano on the track, and
okay.
Is there even? I can't specifically hear the piano on that, so it's like he must not have must not be overpowering in its present, which is even better. I feel like adds to the haunting aura of it, like all these little things kind of going on in the background of the song.
Yeah, and I think this whole record, Siamese Dream as a whole, has a lot of layering of like guitar tracks and just all sorts of stuff, like that ringing noise and probably like some feedback and just like real ambient stuff. Yeah, so then it kicks in with that classic Billy Corgan distortion. There's a killer guitar solo in it.
Oh yeah.
It's just a real solid track. It does the dynamics of quiet to loud, which a lot of the other tracks do too. That quiet loud.
He has a real good grasp of how to use that, because it doesn't feel overplayed. Like it doesn't feel like every song has to be like he's trying to like cram it into that formula. It feels like that's just the natural formula. Like it's his DNA almost coming across in the song. Like this is just how he makes his music.
Yeah, he's just serving the song itself,
serving the song. That's a great way to put it.
So one last thing, I guess, for Soma is I didn't know what Soma meant. And so
neither do I.
So I looked up the definition, and there's 2 definitions. The first, I don't know if it really pertains to this song. Maybe it does. The first definition is the body of an organism.
Okay, body of an organism.
So I don't really see how that fits.
I don't see how that fits either. But it's weird, because I pictured the song almost like an entity around me, but if that's really deep. That's really deep on his part. If he's like pulling that out, what's the other?
He's really effing with everybody.
He really is. What's the second definition then?
All right, so this definition I think fits a little bit better.
Fits a little better.
Yeah, an intoxicating juice from a plant that was used in ancient India as an offering to the gods and as a drink of immortality by worshippers in Vedic ritual.
Whoa. That's heavy duty. I like that.
Yeah. That is heavy.
So I wonder if, I would be curious to know, Billy, if you're listening, did you choose the song title and build the song around that concept, or did you write the song and was like, it sounds like this concept, and then titled it thus? What do you think that would? I mean, it's really hard. It'd be impossible to guess, really. But
I think Billy should just text us after the show.
Right,
and let us know.
yeah, just let us know. All right, so love it. All right, my number 2 pick, Porcelina of the Vast Oceans, from Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness, circa 1995.
Nice.
Would you like to share your thoughts before I delve into mine? I'm curious as what your impressions of this pick.
So I think this follows that formula we were kind of just talking about. It definitely has the quiet.
Yes,
it starts out, it's so freaking quiet. You're like...
I thought for a couple times, like, I thought that the track that I had listened to before this just had like an extended quiet at the end. I hadn't even known that the song had started, and then it kind of like creeps in. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah,
I think he wants you to turn your stereo like as loud as possible, so that when the distortion hits, the heavy part hits, it just like blows you up. Blows your ears away. So yeah, it has that the sleepy intro, real relaxing, getting comfortable, beautiful lullaby sort of feel, and then that classic Billy Corgan.
The waters are calm, yes.
Yeah, and then that classic Billy Corgan riff kicks in with that classic Billy Corgan tone.
Tide's coming in.
Back and forth between dreamy sound and rock and riff. Kind of feel like it's almost like an epic stoner jam sort of thing.
I feel like that's pretty accurate. Yes.
The one critique I have about this is I feel like the song is like maybe a little too long.
As somebody who does love, I would have to agree that it may be like a minute or two shorter. And don't get me wrong, I love real lengthy tracks. But I do feel that I'm also not a fan of just lengthy for the sake of being lengthy. At a time where it was like, I remember reading he had like a gazillion different unused tracks from the Melancholy sessions, or like, he was just a fount of creation that it's hard to like pick. Might not be able to give quite the eye to certain tracks that you would give if you had like a 12 tracks in front of you, that maybe it can lead to a little more of the excess in a particular music.
I feel like one of those times where he kicked back and forth between the quiet and the loud part, like pull that out. Because it just keeps going back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, this is like, I like it, but like you just keep going back and forth like that.
Yeah. So you're waiting for the next level. Like it does almost feel like it could have taken it somewhere else towards the end too. Like I get what you're saying. I picked this song because I was not familiar with it, and I hadn't really listened to Melancholy in a long time, and like definitely didn't listen to it from cover to cover. And hearing this is almost like a new experience to me. I've listened to it a few times over, and was like you said, that the length part of it, but I've gotten into the habit. The first time that I heard it, I was out back with my dog, Judy, and it was a particularly windy afternoon, and she just loves to like just sniff up at the air when it's got that wind. So I'm like listening to this song, and it's like really like that chill vibe to it. So I just had like that personal connection to it, that once you kind of like you make that bond with a song, that it just sticks with me. So it's like I've listened to it a bunch of times since then, and I was like, it'd be hard for me to leave this off. Now, I wouldn't have traditionally slotted it at number 2, because this, like you said, I typically save those for my last, the number 4, the Sledgehammer, the big epic finale. But this almost doesn't fit there either, like you said, because it doesn't really reach that peak. And I feel like for like the Vast Oceans part, maybe that's part of what comes into play, is that it's almost too vast in a sense. Like you said, the up and down of the waves, and it becomes a little too rhythmic. And I'm not trying to. It sounds like I'm trying to talk the song off of an F stack.
No.
But my personal being that this is my personal F stack, I felt a particular attraction to the song now versus perhaps if I don't know that it would be consistently in an F stack, but I felt to service the F stack properly to the experience that we're having and sharing, that it needed to be in my number 2.
Yeah, and you made a memory with your dog.
I did.
With this
I
song,
made a memory with my dog, and that's
powerful. And
that is powerful in and of itself.
All right.
Your number 3.
Yeah. So my number 3 is Doomsday Clock, which I think is just a freaking awesome rockin' tune. I loved this song back in the day when I first heard it, and I think I probably only heard it a few times. And then, I don't know, this record just disappeared from my world. Right along with a lot of Smashing Pumpkins stuff kind of just disappeared from my world. So, hearing this again and revisiting it, I've been playing this song like every single day. I have been playing it every single day and listening to it.
I love it.
Yeah. Starts with that drum intro. Big distorted riff comes in. Yeah. Frickin', yeah, just a great tune. Some good lyrics. Apocalyptic screams mean nothing to the dead. That's like my favorite line.
Yeah, that is a good line. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, this doomsday clock ticking in my heart. These lonely days, will they ever stop?
That whole album,
will they?
Yeah, like that whole album just, it really hits really good. I know we can't do the hits, but man, if Tarantula wasn't, like, it would have been really hard. Once you like reminded me of that song, and I was like, wow, that sounds familiar. And then I played it, and I was like, wow, like, yeah. And then going back into listening to all of Zeitgeist, I'm like, wow, this really did fall off my radar. Where has this been? This is a great album.
Yeah. Yeah, they better correct what's going on and get it back up there for everybody.
Yeah, it's gotta get, come on, Billy. Put it out there. Figure it out. My number 3 is Window Pane off of Geesh, 1991.
Yeah, you tell me what you think of this
You want to
song.
know what I thought?
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote down, the first time I heard this a little over a week ago, I wrote down to describe it, wavy gravy, slow burn surf music. How do you like that? He got me real inspired in the moment when I was listening to this. I was like, this is a great song. And I've been just singing that I guess it's the chorus, say what you gotta say, do what you gotta do, start today. Yeah. I love that. It's so simple, but the way he like hits you with that in the middle of the song, like just his voice, you just hear Billy saying that, and it's just like, yeah, I feel like I just took like one of those inspirational seminars. I'm gonna go out and take on the world, man. Pump me right up. I was so excited after I heard this. I was like, oh man. What are your thoughts? Do you enjoy this song?
I kind of did what you did. I just like jotted down words like that came to me. So, sexy dancing.
Sexy dancing, yes. I can see that
drugs.
For sure. I can also see that.
Yes. Scene from a movie.
Okay.
Quentin Tarantino, question mark?
Oh, right. I could see this in a Tarantino
I was kind of
film.
feeling that. I was feeling a Tarantino sort of vibe.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that.
And that was just helping me to picture the sexy dancing and people wearing sunglasses and a big joint.
Yes. It does sound like that. You just sound like you described a scene out of a Tarantino film. What's the? There, I want to be. There's one that he did. I don't know. Was it maybe like Jackie Brown or I don't know. There's one where I can picture like they're on the beach in like a cottage and Brad Pitt's. Is that True Romance? Brad Pitt's a stoner on the couch. Is that the one? I know. I'm getting all my movies all confuddled right now, but I feel like when you say that, you like it. Just this image popped up. Like absolutely, this would be Tarantino.
Yeah, smoke-filled bar.
Smoke-filled bar. Yeah.
You know, very atmospheric. On a great drum solo before heading back into the jam.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, good tune, man.
Excellent. What's your number 4? What's your sledgehammer, baby?
My number 4 is Panopticon. I think I'm saying that right. Panopticon.
I've been trying to, Panopticon.
And I meant to look up what that means, but I did not.
I actually did. You want me to hit you with that? Because I was like, never heard of this word. Okay, so it is a type of cylindrical prison, apparently, that Jeremy Bentham in 1791 wrote about. The idea, apparently, is that there could be a prison guard in the center of this cylinder that can keep an eye on the entire prison circling around him, so you'd only need one guard to watch like 100 prisoners. And I was like scratching my mind. I cannot figure out how this describes the song. I mean, the song has some cylindrical qualities in that it's kind of almost circling around. If you think of like the
but I mean, even then it's really stretching it.
Yeah, but I don't think anything prison-like about this at all. If anything, it's freeing.
Yeah,
the song feels really uplifting. Why did you pick this as your number 4?
So it's a heavy rock tune, but it's uplifting, like you were saying. That's one of my favorite things with like hard rock and like metal and stuff too. I love when the music can be heavy but still be like a positive feeling, uplifting sort of tune. That's exactly what this song is, and it kind of gives me a feeling of like floating, almost like floating up in the air, like amongst the clouds. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, like guitar wise, but in the chorus, the way there's like different guitar chords happening, and the way the guitar chords are like coming down, like it moves from this pitch and it comes down to a different pitch at the same time that the chords underneath, I don't know, it's just like a great blend where it gives you that feeling, that like airiness, that floatiness. So I really dig that.
Quite lovely guitar.
And the lyrics too, the very first line of the song is "Rise, love is here," and I really like that.
That's a great way to arrive. Like a great presence to bring to a song, and just immediately off the bat, it grabs you. It's like, "Rise, love is here. Let's go."
Yeah,
pulls you right in.
There's a sun that shines in. Breathe, love is air. Oh, it's so nice.
It's so good. Yeah, everything about this song, dude. This song is probably my favorite song out of all of them. I want to say, coming away from this, I was blown away. Like, this was number 1 to me, because it's crazy, because Oceania was my favorite album for a few years there, and I don't remember listening to this. Like, I was so stuck in that I had this little loop of, I really liked the songs Pinwheels, Pale Horse, and Quasar. Like, those were the 3 that I would play over and over again. And then I just associated with being the whole product of Oceania. Like, I really was just, I love these songs so much that I never really, branched out there and listened to the whole thing. And doing it now, and I was like, this song, like, and then when you picked it, I like sat down and had the full experience. And that really, like, I highly recommend putting on a good pair of headphones and just reading along to the lyrics, or close your eyes and just listen the first time and then read along. And then, to me, this song was peak Smashing Pumpkins greatness. It's definitely deserved to be a hit. And
it's a solid rock tune.
He loves those layers, man. Like, there's a lot going on that kind of carries you along, and I love that, because when you hear something new each time you're going in, it makes you want to go back for more.
Yeah, I fell in love with it. I wasn't really familiar with anything off of Oceania. And so, like you mentioned, Pinwheels, I love that song.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song.
Violet Rays on there. I love that song.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, too. I picked up on that one, too.
But, yeah, I mean, off of that record, as far as my stack went, I was just looking for, like that solid rock tune. And this one does it with the good vibes.
Absolutely.
Your number 4.
Yeah, my number 4. My sledgehammer is XYU from Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. It is a heavy song. Very heavy. Did you enjoy this song, Duffie?
Yeah, and I wasn't familiar with this song before.
Oh.
So this song, to me, I hear a lot of the grunge genre.
Yeah.
In this song. I hear the grunge genre so much that I almost could hear that this could have been a Nirvana song. I could picture Kurt singing this.
I do not disagree with that. I do not disagree with that at all. This definitely feels like
it fits right in line with that.
It does. I never thought of it until you just said that. That's kind of crazy that you even said that, because I made note of, like, this song was the only song that stayed the same in my F-stack from start to finish. I heard this for the first time when we went to Seattle, 5-6 years ago. I had it on a track. I was just picking random grunge. I mean, I'm in Seattle. Of course, I'm going to make a bunch of F-stacks with grunge music. So I was just pulling stuff. And for a 4th track, I like to pick the longer songs from bands. So I saw that it was like, oh, this was 8 or 9 minutes, whatever it ends up being. And I was like, okay, so I'll just slap it on the end there. And I heard it in Discovery Park, and it's like my favorite run. Like, I can vividly picture, like, listening to Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana, followed by XYU, Smashing Pumpkins. And that little, like, 15 minute time frame was just, like, beautiful scenery as you could ever get. And it's like, so that, like, clicked to me. So this song was, like, instantly, like, hooked in my veins. So I was like,
yeah,
every time. And I love shouting, into the eyes of a jackal, I say kaboom. And I never get bored of doing that. It's so, like, I don't know, it's kind of silly especially if you just, like, read it, you're like, uh-huh. But when you sing it in the middle of, like, a really heavy part, and it's like that break, and then it just comes in and just smashes. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, his vocals are pretty cool throughout this. If you like screaming grunge vocals, basically.
And I don't typically do. So I think it's just there's some extra quality, like Nirvana brings in the certain punkish. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I like it. Whatever it is, I like it a lot.
And it's almost like he's like there's no control on his voice. Like he's not trying to like scream in a certain way. He's just like letting it out any way it comes out,
Yeah. It feels real like you're in a garage with them and they're jamming out and they're having a good time. This is kind of like the little like monster thing that they're working on. It doesn't feel, even now I listen to it, it doesn't feel quite fully formed. Like it almost feels like 75% of an outer shell of a song that if he like took the time with some of his other stuff that he maybe produces a little bit more. Like this doesn't, not that I'm saying that this is underproduced, I'm saying, or even underbaked. I feel like it's great as it is, and I think that's why, like, it's almost like he took a step back and was like, I want something a little more raw that it present music wise. I mean, he's always typically raw with his lyrics, but this feels raw musically, like almost unhinged, really, as it builds up, and that chaotic like guitar work is like, wow. I always loved that, like that little unpredictable, like about to fly off the handle with it,
Oh yeah,
solid. Easily one of my, if not my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song.
I think Billy was intoxicated with the madness when he wrote this song.
That's great. Perfect way to sum that up. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a line from Zero. Smashing Pumpkins
which
Zero.
Also is, I say that's in my top 5 for Smashing Pumpkins songs, but obviously we have not clued that because it is an awesome hit. So now for the hard work, because
indeed,
no idea how we're going to take these 8 songs and turn them into 4.
Good point, because we just said that we both love all of these songs.
All of the songs. I have no objections to the final product. I really think that whatever we come up with is going to be wonderful for a listener to listen to from start to finish. I'm feeling like based on what we
man.
said, being that Mayo is your favorite song, I feel like that to me is firmly, I would say, well, let's put that in the number 2 slot. Do you have any objections to that being okay? So we have one song.
Yeah, I'm good.
And depending on now it's like completely wide open, because any real combination of these works for me. If we're gonna go, all right, if we're gonna include Panopticon, I think that has to be included.
Okay.
Now, are you interested or not interested in Knights of Malta? Do you think
Man,
that
I love that song.
it's tough, because then what? Then we're down to one more.
I mean, based
pick.
on our discussion, I think XYU should be on there just because of how you hold that, to your heart.
Kind of like, so like a counterpoint then,
to my
because I feel like
Mayonnaise,
that's a good. I think if you're gonna, okay, then we'll put that at 4, because I love that as like my sledgehammer. When you're rounding out a nice F stack, you want something that takes you a little further than the previous 3, and this one has that. This is far out on the limb that Smashing Pumpkins gets, really. I mean, music is heaviness, definitely. Okay, so then we have 2 slots left and 6 songs, and I don't know what to do, man. What are your thoughts?
So from your stack, my pick, I think, I don't know, it's a new song to me, but I think Knights of Malta should be on the ultimate.
Okay, then I think that Knights of Malta should go first. And well, let me think about that. I almost think I want to go with Panopticon to lead, because I feel like this song really grabs you and pulls you in. Knights of Malta does it too, though. So either one of those, I feel like, could go 1, and the other one could go 3. Which song do you feel pulls you in? What do we want the listener to like immediately be grabbed and be like, I can't believe I missed this Smashing Pumpkin song?
Well, I think Panopticon, the riff. So if you just listen to like the first, like the beginning of it or whatever.
Yep.
I'm thinking about when I was in the car with my wife and we were listening to this song, and I told her that this was on my stack, and she was like, "Oh, this seems a little repetitive," but it hadn't got to like the chorus yet and everything.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to turn anybody away, maybe, with starting out with something that could feel like that to some people.
Okay.
I mean, she changed her mind when she heard the rest of it.
When she heard the full song, she enjoyed it.
Yeah, but that riff, she said, was a little.
Then you don't really. So. Then you don't want. Yeah, you definitely don't want that as the scalpel, because you want to go in clean and like you're setting your intention with number 1. I feel like what's the listener, what we want them to hear, and that's it. I think
it eases in nice. Knights of Malta.
Yeah,
it's. And maybe sometimes that's okay to not like slam through the front door.
That's
as soon
because
as you
I feel like if you think about where it's ending too with XYU, we're ending at like heavy chaos essentially.
Yeah.
So if we start at a more beautiful kind of laid back place and we kind of build as we're going, and then we go into Mayo, which is, as we've learned, shoegaze. So we're kind of still kind of having the flow, and then it starts to pick up a little bit with Panopticon. See, I've already. That's a tough word. And then we go into so it's kind of we get a full Smashing Pumpkins journey. Really, we get to go. And
for the new listener, I think it's a good way to start them out would be Knights of Malta for a brand new listener, who was unfamiliar
I'm so
with
glad
the
that you
Smashing
found that. I'm so glad that you liked this song. I was really excited when I was like,
oh yeah,
I wasn't sure, because I was like, it is. I don't want to say poppy, but it has that little extra radio friendly sound to it, which just makes it a little more like melancholy that it didn't really. I mean, it's just kind of not of its time, or like if it was in a different era, I feel like this song would be really catchy on the radio. I would never turn it off.
We're gonna ride that rainbow,
right? Ride that rainbow. It's so much fun. Okay, so
cool.
Then I think we have ourselves a Mattastrophic Ultimate F Stack. We did it.
Heck yeah.
All right, so I'll read them off. Want to check out what we chose for you to listen to? It is number 1, Knights of Malta. Number 2, Mayonnaise. Number 3, Panopticon. Number 4, XYU.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. So, what was your song of the week?
My song of the week, it switched. I had originally I had Stand Inside Your Love, Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
I listened,
a little extra bonus. I like it.
Yeah. Just because I felt like I had to pick that song because I listened to it so many frickin' times over this last week. Just because it felt like a song that, like, as soon as it ends, I could just, like basically I had it on repeat. You know, it's like the song ends, and I just started over, and it didn't seem like it wasn't, wearing out. It wasn't getting annoying or anything like that. So I listened to it, like I said, I don't know, 50 times, 100 times, who knows. So that was going to be my pick. And then, was it just the other day, I heard a song came on from my list of music, and it just hit me in the right way. And the song is from the band Beartooth. It's called Rock is Dead.
Okay.
Yeah, so Beartooth, if you're unfamiliar, is, I guess, for a genre, that would be somewhere between, like, rock and metalcore, but they have, like, this, like, high-energy punk sound infused into it. Most of their music is just the kind of stuff where it makes you want to, like, jump up in the air and jump off stuff. Yes. Just super high energy. And this song, Rock is Dead, is actually about rock is not dead. Basically, he's, like, saying, everybody's saying rock is dead. Well, here's a line. I'd rather be deaf, I'd rather be dead than bored out of my mind. And he says, if rock is dead, you can kill me right now.
That's a statement.
Yeah, it was just, I've heard this song, I've been listening to this band for, maybe like the last 5 years. But yeah, when it came on the other day, it just hit me, and I was feeling that aggressive rockness. And so, that's my pick. You definitely check it out.
I will. I like the name of that the name of that band, Beartooth.
Beartooth, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a kick-ass name. I like it. I would definitely check that out. I definitely agree. The rock is not dead. You just need to look for it. That's all. It's there.
Yeah, I hate how like every year or two some like famous celebrity says that, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Right. I mean, it's not every genre is always going to be at the forefront of pop culture.
Sales.
It had its moment. It had its moment in time. It may return in a different form, a different shape, but like. There's always going to be people that want to just rock out. So as long as there's people that want to rock out, so most likely going to be bands that want to make music for you to rock out to. So
never ever going away.
And never going away. And my song of the week is "Listen to the Music" by the Doobie Brothers.
Nice.
Because
you always surprise me with these songs of the week.
I do a lot of like random mixes and stuff. Like I'll just put together like a hodgepodge and just kind of, depending on my mood, I'll just click on said hodgepodge and see where it takes me. And as I had one that was more of a positive, and it just, when you need a like feel good, pick me up vibes.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love this song because it's like, I especially love the line, what people need is a way to make them smile. And I think that's what music ultimately, like maybe not in the moment you're experiencing, like really heavy music, for instance, or really sad music, but ultimately, like at the end, you go through that experience and it leaves you feeling perhaps a little bit more than you did before you went in to listen to it. I feel a little more full up with, especially in this song, a little more full up with love, Ain't nothing cheesy about that. You leave it knowing that there's somebody out there who's just making music that you can kind of, sing along to and take a nice stroll, walk your dog.
Yeah,
it's a good time song. So that was my song of the week. I listened to that 3 or 4 times, and I never get tired of listening to the Doobie Brothers. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
yeah, I like that, man.
All right, so do you want to introduce our next band?
Yes, I do. Our next band for the listeners at home, so that you can get on top of creating your F-Stack and then tuning in to see how your stack compares to ours. Next week's artist is Miles Kennedy, solo records. So Miles is the singer of Alter Bridge. He's also been in the band. He was frontman for was it Mayfield 4?
Mayfield 4. And he played.
And he plays with Slash.
Yep, and the Snake Pit, right? Is that correct?
Conspirators.
Is that Conspirators?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for next episode, we're gonna focus on Miles Kennedy solo albums.
Yep. Year of the Tiger and Ides of March.
Yep.
And there's nothing off limits. I would say every song is available for the F-Stack between the two albums. Do you agree? Or do you think we should? Did he have some? Did you have some radio play hits that I missed? Because I definitely feel like there's songs on these albums that belong on the radio. But
one thing I did notice is that on Year of the Tiger, Love Can Only Heal has over 1 million plays on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if we should.
Hit. You want to take that one off? Okay, we'll put that.
Yeah, why don't we take that one off? Because I think that's his most popular track from the solo
that's good.
records.
I'm glad. That's a good song. I'm glad that there's some Miles Kennedy lovers out there, because we both love this guy. He's great.
Yeah.
He is one of the great rock artists of our time, in my opinion. He's such a cool dude, so laid back and nice, and great voice, and makes great music.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait to talk about this stuff. Oh, phenomenal! The fact, like, yeah, him and Tremonti and Alter Bridge is like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah.
That's down the road, but oh boy, that episode 2 is going to be a lot of fun to make.
Yeah, ridiculous. Good show.
We got it.
Yeah, good show. Looking forward to the next one, and looking forward to another week of listening to music that maybe I, haven't listened to enough of.
It's going to get real interesting in the coming weeks. We got some more bands coming up that are going to surprise you listeners. Very good F-Stacks in the future.
Cool. So until then,
I'm Kelly. He's Duffie. We're Mattastrophic Music.